It was one of those nights where the rain didn't just fall. It slashed at the windshield like nails, the kind of storm that drowns the world in shadows and turns back roads into something out of a nightmare. I'd just finished a double shift at the 24-hour diner, my clothes reeking of grease and coffee, my bones aching for sleep. But fate had other plans. The road home was a lonely stretch of blacktop, swallowed by a forest so thick it devoured the moonlight. My headlights barely cut through the gloom. The radio, static, no signal out here. Just the sound of rain hammering metal and the rhythmic swipe of my wipers. Then I saw her. Under a flickering street lamp, drenched and shivering, stood a woman. Tall. Too tall. Her arm jutted out like a broken branch, thumb hooked in the air. Something primal in my gut screamed. Drive. Now. But the good person in me. It reached for the window. Need a ride? I shouted over the downpour. She didn't hesitate, just slid into the passenger seat, water pooling at her feet. Her clothes clung to her like they'd been drenched for hours. And then she smiled. Too wide, too many gaps where teeth should have been. Just up the road, she rasped, voice like gravel. I tried small talk. She just stared, not at me, through me. My skin prickled, but I kept driving. The gas light blinked on, forcing me to pull into a station. I turned to her. You want a coffee? She didn't blink, didn't move. No thanks, honey. I stepped out, shivering in the rain. The moment I stepped back, she was gone. No footprints, no trace. Just a damp imprint on the seat and a creeping dread that followed me home. That night, my apartment felt wrong. The air hung thick like wet wool. I popped a melatonin and collapsed into bed. But sleep wouldn't come. Then, around 3 a.m., a sharp inhale from the corner of my room. My blood turned to ice. My body froze. Slowly, my eyes adjusted, and there, half hidden behind my dresser, was a shadow. Long limbs, hollow eyes. Her. I couldn't scream, couldn't move. My heart thundered as she unfurled herself and slipped out the door. No footsteps, no sound, just gone. The next morning, my back seat was flooded with murky water, and my favorite blanket, missing. But the real horror? My front door had been unlocked, all night. 3 weeks passed. I told myself I was fine, until my roommate dragged me to a frat party. Live a little, she said. Big mistake. By midnight, I was swaying, vodka burning my throat. My phone, dead. My friends, gone. And there I was, stumbling through the woods in a sequined dress that glittered like a target. Then, a set of headlights. A rusty pickup rolled to a stop. The driver grinned, teeth like a rusted bear trap. Hop in, I did. We'd barely driven a mile when his hand slid onto my knee. You know, he purred, drunk girls make easy prey. My stomach dropped, my pulse pounded. He veered onto a dirt road, and I knew this was bad. Then red and blue lights, a siren, a cop, a miracle. The driver cursed, yanked the wheel back toward the highway. As the patrol car loomed closer, I wrenched the door handle and tumbled onto the wet pavement, breath coming in shakes. The cop stopped. The truck sped off. A month later, over coffee, my friend Googled missing hitchhikers. And there she was, the gap-toothed woman, the tall, too tall figure from the rain, a mugshot from 1982. Escaped mental patient, targets drivers who show kindness, breaks into homes, leaves, souvenirs, my blanket, the damp stains, the shadow in my room. I moved cities, changed my number, locked my doors religiously. But sometimes when it rains, I still see her. Not in mirrors, not in windows, but in the dark, in the corners where the light refuses to reach. So next time you see someone on the side of the road, ask yourself, are you saving a life or inviting a nightmare? Because not all passengers are human, and some, they don't ever leave.